So I'm always looking for ways to push the human machine, to see what it's capable of. We get so locked into these patterns, 3 meals a day, snacks, that we never question if there's a better way. Is that what we're really designed for? I wanted to strip it all back down to something primal, something simple. That's where this idea of eating just 1 meal a day, OMAD, came into the picture. It's not some new fad. Ancient warriors, hunters, did this out of necessity. They didn't have a fridge stocked with goodies. They went out, did their thing, and then they feasted. I wanted to see if tapping into that ancient rhythm could unlock something in the modern human. The goal wasn't just about dropping a few pounds, though I was curious about that. For me, it was about mental clarity and discipline. I'm 58 years old, hovering around 200 pounds, and I like to stay active, stay sharp. The chatter you hear about intermittent fasting boosting focus and energy, I had to put it to the test myself. Could I really function, train, and do my job while running on empty for 23 hours a day? So, I set the timeline, 14 days. 2 solid weeks of a strict 1 meal a day protocol. No excuses, no cheat days. Just a straight-up, head-on collision with this intense way of eating, to see what would break and what would get stronger. To make this a real experiment, you need rules. You can't just wing it. My protocol was brutally simple. For 23 hours a day, I was in a fasted state. Water, black coffee, unsweetened tea, no cream, no sugar, no fake sweeteners. Nothing that would kick my body out of that fasting zone. It was all about keeping insulin levels as low as possible. This meant my mornings were fueled by nothing but black coffee and a whole lot of water. You learn to appreciate the taste of water in a whole new way, when that's all you've got. My eating window was a tight 1 hour, usually scheduled for around 6 p.m. This worked for me because it let me finish my day, get a workout in if I wanted, and then sit down for a substantial meal without feeling rushed. The meal itself was key. This wasn't a license to just go nuts and eat a mountain of junk food. The whole point was to give my body all the nutrients it needed in one shot. So, my plate was always loaded with high-quality protein. Think a big piece of elk steak or a couple of salmon fillets. A massive pile of vegetables like broccoli and leafy greens, and healthy fats from avocados or olive oil. I kept the carbs minimal but included some, like a sweet potato or a small portion of rice. The daily routine became a ritual. Wake up, black coffee, and then attack the day. I made a point to track everything. Energy levels, my mood, any cravings, and the quality of my sleep. I weighed myself every morning and took body measurements. Waist, chest, arms, at the start, 1 week, and day 14. Data is king. You need the cold, hard numbers to see if it's working or if it's all in your head. The first day was a trip. It was fueled mostly by novelty and a bit of that stubborn grit. Skipping breakfast was nothing new. When lunchtime rolled around, my body sent serious signals. My stomach was growling. I could feel that hollow sensation. I pounded water. I had another black coffee. At 6 p.m., I was definitely ready to eat. That first meal was incredible. Every bite felt earned. A normal-sized, nutrient-dense meal left me completely satisfied. I wasn't tempted to overeat. I slept like a rock. Day 2, day 3. I woke up on day 2 with a dull headache, that low-carb throb. It felt like my body screaming for glucose. I expected it, so I upped my water intake and added a pinch of sea salt. From noon until 4 p.m., it was a real mental battle. I felt a little foggy. I felt a little irritable. My body was switching fuel from carbs to fat, not a smooth transition. I woke up on the second night hungry and wired. The third night, the same. Sleep quality felt disrupted. I figured cortisol was running a bit high. I stuck with the plan. I drank water. I wrote it out. By day 4, things shifted. The headache was gone. Afternoon hunger was still there, but less ferocious. A crazy upside. Time returned. No need to stop for breakfast. No need to stop for lunch. No post-lunch slump. On day 4, I felt clean, steady energy in the afternoon. Not caffeine or sugar. My mind felt sharper, less cluttered. First glimpse of the upside, The body's rebellion was starting to quiet down. Yeah. By day 5, it felt like I had broken through a wall. The transition period was over. I woke up feeling surprisingly refreshed, without the brain fog. The constant, nagging hunger was gone. Now it was a predictable late afternoon signal. Manageable. I noticed a significant physical change. The bloating was completely gone. My stomach felt flat and tight. Day 5, day 6, day 7. The mental benefits really started to shine. My focus at work was laser sharp. I could sit and concentrate for hours without getting distracted. There's a theory that fasting heightens senses. An evolutionary holdover. You needed to be sharp to hunt. I was definitely feeling that. The mental chatter quieted down. At the 1-week mark, I stepped on the scale and took my measurements. The numbers were interesting. I was down about 3 pounds. The more impressive change was in the mirror. My jeans were looser. It was clear I was losing fat, particularly around my midsection. The evening meal continued to be a highlight. I made sure never to gorge myself. Eat slowly, chew thoroughly, stop when full. OMAD isn't an excuse to binge on 3,000 calories of pizza and ice cream, grass-fed beef, wild-caught fish, a rainbow of vegetables. By day 7, I had a sustainable routine. The hardship was gone, replaced by clean efficiency and mental clarity. I was no longer just surviving, I was thriving. Entering the second week, I hit a different kind of challenge. The initial struggle with hunger was gone, but it was replaced by a more subtle test of endurance. On some of these days, particularly day 8 and 9, my morning energy levels felt a bit low. I wasn't tired or foggy like in the beginning, but I felt flat. The initial rush seemed to have stabilized, a new, steady-state baseline. Forcing myself to get moving helped. A short, brisk walk in the morning sun did wonders. My workouts were an interesting experiment. I kept training, but I had to be smart about it. I wasn't trying to set any personal records. Shorter sessions, more focused on intensity than volume. I did some light strength training. I did a lot of kettlebell work. What surprised me was that my strength didn't really drop off. I felt solid. Keeping my protein intake high in that one meal was absolutely critical. Give your body the building blocks. The social aspect became a factor. I had to turn down lunch meetings and weekend brunches. You realize how much of our interaction is centered around sharing a meal. Most people were supportive once they understood this was an experiment. On day 10, I realized I had gone a decade, maybe more, without ever feeling truly hungry. This recalibrated my relationship with food. Hunger isn't an emergency, it's just a signal. By riding out those waves, I wasn't a slave to the next snack, I was in the driver's seat. That quiet confidence was one of the biggest psychological wins. The final stretch, day 11 to 14, was where everything clicked into place. The most profound change was the death of my cravings. I have a sweet tooth. I'm human. I used to crave something sweet after lunch. By day 11, that was just gone. It was like a switch had been flipped. My palate had changed. The richness of the steak, the bitterness of the greens were more intense and satisfying than ever. On day 12, after a long podcast recording, I stood up too quickly and felt a wave of dizziness. I sat back down, drank a big glass of water, and breathed. The feeling passed quickly. Good reminder, you're still putting your body under a unique form of stress. After that, I stayed extra hydrated and moved a little more slowly from sitting to standing. My sleep in these final days was incredible. I was falling asleep faster and staying asleep through the night. Not having a full digestive system working overtime helped. My body could focus on recovery and repair. I woke up feeling genuinely restored. My mood was better, my energy more stable, and my mind clear and calm. It felt like my entire system had been reset and optimized. On the final day, I felt a huge sense of accomplishment. I had stuck to a difficult protocol and seen it through. The constant noise about what to eat and when to eat had been silenced. I felt more in tune with my body's needs. The discipline I cultivated felt permanent, like a new muscle. This wasn't just about food, it was about proving I could take on a hard challenge and conquer it. So, the 14 days were up. I took my final measurements. In total, I had dropped about 7 pounds. My waist was down nearly 2 inches. My energy levels were high. My focus was sharp. I felt fantastic. A resounding success. But this is not a one-size-fits-all solution. OMAD is an extreme tool, and it's not for everyone. If you're pregnant, if you're breastfeeding, if you have a history of eating disorders, absolutely avoid. If you're a professional athlete or have a physically demanding job like construction, one meal is probably a bad idea. People with certain medical conditions, especially diabetes, need to be extremely careful. Talk to a doctor. Don't just listen to some guy on a podcast and turn your life upside down. Get professional advice. If you get the green light, start slow. Don't jump from 3 meals, or snacks, straight into OMAD. Try a 16-8 window first. Let your body adapt. Quality is everything. You can't outfast a bad diet. Your one meal has to be a nutritional powerhouse. Protein, healthy fats, micronutrients from vegetables. Hydration is non-negotiable. Drink water all day long. Would I do it again? Absolutely. But I don't think I'll live on OMAD permanently. It's a great tool. Maybe a week or two, a few times a year to reset my system. For now, I've settled into a less extreme 2 meals a day routine. It taught me to listen to my body's true signals, and that I have more control over my biology than I thought. That was the real prize.